Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're on week 8, halfway through this regular season marathon we got going here, picking against the spreads for NFL games. I'm joined on set by Gerald and Chris Kringle, and we're going to go ahead and bring you the spreads. So let's get into it.
All right, so I don't have the updated standings from last week, but hopefully we'll update it on the next video, so keep you guys updated and informed. But to lead us off for the Thursday night game, we have Miami Dolphins going to Baltimore. Baltimore is a -2.5 at home. Justin, how do you feel about this? Baltimore coming off of a loss to Minnesota.
I'm rolling with Baltimore in this one. That's right, everybody. Yes, they're coming off of a loss to the Vikings, but it was in the Vikings stadium. And frankly, it was kind of predictable from my point of view. But now you got Miami. It should be a much easier matchup at home for the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm picking Baltimore too. We're at home. I just wish I could do openings like him, but I can't. But yes, Baltimore with a -2.5 spread. I mean, yeah, I think they're going to win against Dolphins. Do we know if Jay Cutler's even playing? I mean, I think he's out. So
I think he is out, and I think this is the perfect perfect offense for Baltimore's defense to get back on track. Just because I think Miami is a bunch of ho-ho-hos. So I'm going to go with Baltimore at home here, minus 2.5.
All right.
So that leads us into our slot of 1 o'clock games. We have San Fran, who is still winless on the year. Just came off of a 30-point blowout against Dallas. But going to Philly. Philly just came off of a Monday night win against the Redskins. Philly's -10.5 at home. Very big spread, Justin. How do you feel?
Huge spread.
Very big spread. You got to remember that the San Francisco 49ers on a couple of games came very close to beating top teams. And, you know, I'm going to have a pair of balls this week and actually pick the San Francisco 49ers, winless team, to cover this spread.
Are you smoking crack? Santa, put him on your naughty list. He's smoking crack. What? So Philadelphia is by far probably the best team in the NFL right now.
Arguably.
All right, Dallas fan, whatever. Even Santa, I guess, is a Dallas fan. Everybody is. But anyways, Philly is the best team in the NFL. And you don't think they're going to score more than 10.5 points? I get it's a trap game. I get it. Philadelphia's the hot squad. But let's be honest here. They're going to win this one by probably more than 10.5. I don't know who Wentz's backup is, but he may even get some playing time this week.
So what's tempting about this game is before the 30-point blowout to Dallas, San Fran actually lost all of their games by 3 points or less. So that's something to remember, which is tempting me to pick San Fran, but I'm going to pick Philly. Even though they're coming off of a short week, they're at home. I just think Philly is on a roll right now, I don't think San Fran can keep up with it. You're talking about, what's his name, Beathard as the quarterback. That defense is going to eat them alive. I'm going to go with Philly at home. Maybe by 2 touchdowns.
I guess we'll see, Chris Kringle.
I guess we'll see, man. Jeez.
All right. So that leads us into actually an early game that I missed actually at 9:30 in the morning. The Minnesota Vikings going to Cleveland. Cleveland is +7.5 at home.
Like I said, this is the week to have a pair of balls and bet on the winless teams. Law of averages, you can't just keep losing. Eventually you got to win. And even if you lose, maybe you lose by less than the 7.5 point spread. So pick Cleveland this week, everybody.
Again, if LitTube tested for drugs, I'm sure Justin would be canceled. Complete fired. Because your picks are ridiculous. Minnesota blew out the Ravens, who literally the Ravens who destroyed the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns destroy themselves weekly. I'm sorry. There's no way in the world Cleveland's going to cover this spread. Are you crazy?
Hey,
they don't even know who their quarterback is.
It's called Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday, my ass. This is the Cleveland Browns. It's every Sunday. The same thing all day. Cleveland Browns, Dookie Brown, goodbye. Minnesota gets the victory.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota here on the road. I just, like you said, there's too many questions when it comes to Cleveland, and I don't trust them. DeShone Kizer's throwing a pick in every one of his starts this year, so, yeah, I have no shot of Cleveland winning that game at all. So
Cleveland?
Yeah, that's a bold. Is that your bold prediction?
Is that your bold prediction?
My bold prediction is that both winless teams cover the spread this week. So let's see what happens.
And let's just backtrack 2 weeks ago. If I'm not mistaken, the Lions played the Saints. And I did say Drew Brees will throw for 3 touchdowns. He did and scored over 40 points. I just want to point that out.
I'm also going to remind you that you weren't here last week, but actually Adrian went off. So there you go. AP went off.
And then if I'm not mistaken, Justin's pick of Ben Roethlisberger would throw more interceptions than touchdowns actually came true. If I'm not mistaken, that's the game he threw 5 picks.
All right.
But anyway.
Bold predictions are crazy in this table.
Hey, I haven't been bad when I called bold predictions. So
yeah, but winless team, man, you're high.
Right.
You're high.
So that leads us into another AFC matchup. We have the LA Chargers, who are actually on a little bit of a roll right now, running into the New England Patriots, who just put on a show against Atlanta. But we have the Chargers plus 6.5 in Foxborough. Justin.
Yeah, this one is actually kind of tough because if the Patriots if their defense shows up the way they did this most recent week, then you can take New England with confidence. There's a question of, do you think that's going to happen, though? Because if that doesn't happen and it's just the shit New England defense of earlier in the year, then I'd want to pick the Chargers. So it's really tough for me here. But I'm going to roll with New England.
Thank you. Finally receiving the logic after that long explanation. But let's be honest here. It's New England versus one of the worst teams in the NFL. Now, let's be honest here. And I'm going to speak from fantasy from a point of view. Tom Brady ain't done that good fantasy-wise. And there was a fan actually last week that commented on our video saying how Tom Brady's still Tom Brady. He still scored this many yards and this, that, and the other. Listen, I'm going to tell you one thing. If you got Tom Brady starting for you, don't bet on him to help you blow out a game. But nonetheless, it is the Patriots versus the LA Chargers at home in Foxborough. Yeah, Patriots got this.
Bold prediction of the week alert.
Oh my goodness.
LA will win by 10.
Are you crazy?
They'll straight up win.
You're kidding, right?
They did a poll last week in the NFL. Who is the best trash talker?
Are there narcotics in the beard? What's going on?
Who is the best trash talker in the NFL? Number 1. Phillip Rivers. He will talk so much shit this week.
He looks like a thumb.
He will win, not only straight up, but by double
He
digits.
looks like a Cabbage Patch Doll. He's
Like
not
I
doing
said,
anything.
it's
LA
about the defense, man.
What?
If the New England defense of last week shows up, I don't give them a chance.
Here's the thing. The teams that go against the teams the following week, look at what they did. So you look at how the Pittsburgh Steelers shut down the Kansas City Chiefs that one week. The Oakland Raiders did the same exact thing on offense and defense. So the Chargers have the game plan of what not to do after they watch the Falcons just shit the bed.
Don't play a game at fog, basically.
Like I said, Phillip Rivers will win by at least 10.
10?
That's all I'm saying.
Really?
That's all I'm saying. That's my bold prediction. So,
Bruh.
go into another AFC
If
matchup.
Phillip Rivers wins by 10, they're firing Belichick because that's just unacceptable.
Okay,
That's unacceptable.
they'll never fire
They'll
Belichick,
never fire
but
him.
he
Let's
will
be honest
win.
here.
I'm telling you, he will win. Anyway, we have Oakland going to Buffalo. Buffalo is a -3 at home. We also saw the comeback win that Oakland had against Kansas City, as well as Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken, lost to Tampa. Or actually, did they lose to Tampa? Or they may have won by 3.
I can't remember.
But anyway, Buffalo was a -3 at home. Justin, how do you feel about this?
I like Oakland in this one. I haven't picked Oakland a lot this year. I'm not sure why, but I do like Oakland in this one. I don't care that they're not going to have Marshawn Lynch for this game. I like their other running backs. Rolling with Oakland.
Honestly, Justin makes a good point. I mean, they didn't have Marshawn Lynch last year before Carr got injured, and they still were doing good. I think, honestly, they have the weapons to do it. I mean, Buffalo's been on a little bit of a slump. Don't know if they're going to bounce back from this. It might have been just an early season splash. I honestly think Oakland's here for the long run, and they're going to actually pick up a good victory here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Oakland, but don't be surprised when Buffalo keeps it close.
That's true.
It's going to be close for the first 3 quarters, but Oakland will eventually pull away. But yeah, I just think Oakland is on a roll right now. They have the confidence. Plus, you're giving them 3 points. I'm going to go with Oakland on the road.
Okay.
All right. So then we have Carolina, who's been in a bit of a slump as of late. Cam Newton's been up and down. They're going to Tampa. Carolina's a +2 on the road, implying that Tampa would have to win by a field goal. Justin?
I'm actually taking Tampa in this one. That was such poor momentum coming into that Bears game. Like, are you serious? I cannot believe they blew that game. And I think it continues into this one. I don't think they shake the cobwebs off from that. I think Tampa's going to get a win here.
Cam Newton led a rookie. Well, not Cam Newton necessarily, but the Carolina defense led a rookie who has played about as good as Kyle Bowler did, run all over them, destroy them. I mean, Chicago destroyed them. I'm sorry. Cam, what's up? What's going on, bro? Is something between the ears? Something's not going on? Nah, bro. Cincy, I just don't know. I don't think, honestly, they're going to pick up a victory here. I think Tampa's got the win here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa at home. I just think that, like Justin said, that bad luck and that spillover is going to come into this week. I'm going to go with Tampa at home. Like I said, you're only going to win by a field goal. It's an easy pick for me.
Mm-hmm.
So then it leads us into an NFC-AFC matchup. We have Atlanta Falcons coming off of an embarrassing performance on the road in Foxborough, going to New York to face the Jets. Atlanta is a -7 on the road.
That spread actually makes it tough for me, but I'll go with Atlanta just because, coming off of such a bad performance, I actually think they might rebound here. And, going in to play the Jets shouldn't be too tough for them, so I'll roll with Atlanta. But, again, I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets pulled this off, so.
You never know. Any given Sunday like this week, bold prediction, the Jets are going to do it. I'm just calling it.
Even though you were about to get ready to yell at me for picking the Jets there, and then when I didn't.
I wasn't going to actually yell at you, buddy. No, for real. I think the Jets actually could do it. I think they've had some splashes of luck here. Despite the fact the Jets, didn't win last week, McCown still actually looked good in fantasy. And again, the Patriots offense ran all over Atlanta. This isn't necessarily a no-brainer. I think if McCown can actually put together a game plan and the Jets can get something going early, I think for sure they could actually cover this spread.
I'm going to go with New York at home. I'm predicting, this is no bold prediction, I just have a feeling this game is going to overtime.
Ooh.
I just have a weird feeling. Atlanta's coming off of a road loss in Foxborough, now going to New York to face another AFC East team on the road. I think they have a little bit of spillover in the first half where they're going to have to play catch-up. I think they eventually win it in overtime by a field goal. Mm-hmm. But I just have a weird feeling about this game. I think it's a trap game. I think the Jets keep it close.
Fair enough.
Hey, all I'm going to say about that Patriots game is that one team was not prepared to play in the fog. That's what
most people don't know how to drive in the fog, so, cut them some slack.
I drove to work Sunday. It was, really foggy. It was weird.
Right. So then we have Indianapolis, the Colts, going to Cincinnati. Now, this is a weird one for me, but Cincinnati is -10 at home. Obviously, we know the woes of the Colts, and Andrew Luck's probably not going to play this year, but Justin, +10 on the road.
As much as I want to pick the Bengals, +10 I think is just a little too much for the Colts. Yeah. At that point, you're telling me they got to win by more than a touchdown and a field goal to win that side of the bet. I'd rather take Indianapolis if I have to pick here.
Yeah, same reason. No. What? Cincy -10? I understand it's Indy. I know they haven't been doing the same things they've been able to do historically, but there's no way Cincy. This should be a close game. This should honestly be a closer spread. And it might change as the week goes on, but nah. I'm going for Indy right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Indy. I just don't like anything. I don't think anything is too appealing about Cincinnati right now. And I do think the Colts keep it close. You're telling me if they lose by 9, we still win. Yeah. We still cover. So I'm going to go with Indy on the road. I think that's a no-brainer. Alrighty, so that leads us into an NFC matchup, our last of the 1 o'clock games. I have another bold prediction about my boy Drew Brees when I hear your picks. But we have Chicago going to New Orleans.
What a prelude.
New Orleans is -7.5 in the Superdome. Justin, how do you feel about this? And like I said, I can't wait to hear your pick.
I'm going to use a quote from Gerald last week, which is,
wow.
Man, screw Chicago. I'm not picking Chicago this week. I understand they've been on a roll the past 2 games or so, but no. I don't see how I can bet against Drew Brees in the Superdome, even with the 7.5 spread.
My man.
I second that. Thank you for quoting me. Yeah, Superdome rookie. No, not even close. I'm sorry. No, Drew Brees. and the Saints are covering the spread easily. There's no way he's going to do it that far away from home. No, sorry.
All right. Here's my prediction.
Let's go.
I'm going to leave it as this. Saints. Now to segue into the bold prediction. You talk about Superdome. You talk about Drew Brees. Can we mention 3 little letters? Can he get into the MVP conversation, please? You talk about a struggling Atlanta Falcons. Hear me out. You talk about a struggling Atlanta Falcons. You talk about a struggling Carolina. This is Drew Brees' year. They're going to win the division. Now, you talk about Alex Smith. He was in the conversation for MVP, lost 2 games in a row. Kind of slid off of that. Brady's always in the category. The Saints are sitting at 4-2. They win this game, which will be a shootout. I think it'll be early. He'll throw 2-3 touchdowns at least. But after this week, Drew Brees will slide in to the number 4 or 5 spot in the MVP conversation. And he will be there at the end of the year, not necessarily winning it, but he will be in the conversation just based off of the numbers he puts up and how far he can go with the sorry defense that he has. So that's my prediction. Drew Brees will end somewhere near the top of the MVP conversation.
I like it. The one thing I will disagree with, though, actually, is the sorry defense, because that defense in recent weeks has been stepping it up, and they might continue to do so here.
But Drew Brees usually has to put up at least 35 points to win the game, at least. So, but I'm glad you kind of agree or like that prediction. All right. So then it leads us into Houston playing Seattle. In Seattle, Houston is minus 4.5 at home. Obviously, Deshaun Watson has been on a roll. They go into a very loud stadium, a very tough place to play in Seattle. Justin, how do you feel about Houston plus 4.5 on the road?
I don't like it for Houston. I think this is going to be the first game where Deshaun Watson really starts struggling as a starter. You know, coming into this is one of the toughest stadiums to play in, one of the meanest defenses to play against. Trust me, I know, as a Rams fan, about this Seattle team at home. Yeah, I don't think Houston wants any part of this week, so I'm going with Seattle.
Justin's been waiting for that. Justin's been waiting for a tough game for Deshaun Watson. Watch his last video. We'll put that in the link below, too. He made some good points, actually. But, nonetheless, this kid's played in a national championship game. It's about as loud as it can get outside of the Super Bowl. It's about as tough and as hard as it can get outside of most NFL games. So I'm going to say, Deshaun, honestly, even without a J.J. Watt, Seattle's line can't protect my man back there. I'm sorry. And I don't even know what's going on with Seattle's run game, honestly, if they even have one to begin with.
Nope.
So I think, honestly, this is a good game to put on, Deshaun Watson. I think, honestly, he's going to have a fun game. I think he's going to score some fantasy points. I think Colleen keeping him on the bench might be a little interesting for her fantasy team. But, nonetheless, I think Deshaun Watson's going to have a great game, and Houston's going to pull off a good victory here.
2 things.
Let's go.
I think Houston's fans are going to be as quiet as BYU fans.
Oh, God.
Because
oh no,
they will not win this game.
No.
And because I'm in the giving spirit, 'tis the season. I know I'm a little early.
You hurt.
But Deshaun Watson is going to be like Oprah. You get a pick, and you get a pick, and you get a pick. Seattle's defense will have fun with Deshaun Watson. I think, just like Justin said, it's like a defense he hasn't seen. I mean, even with the injuries on the defensive side, a little bit banged up. I know they're playing a backup corner. I still like Seattle at home. Very tough place to play. I think Pete Carroll is going to throw some schemes at Deshaun Watson that he hasn't seen before. This is his first tough test, and it's on the road. So I'm going to go with Seattle here, maybe winning by a touchdown, maybe 10 points. But I just think Deshaun Watson has a very difficult time in Seattle.
Look, I'm going to be real with you. Even with that backup corner, if I'm Deshaun Watson, if you're smart, if you are the quarterback you are, if you are the national champion quarterback you say you are, I'm attacking that corner. I'm showing them why I was good in college. I'm going to run. I'm going to run all over them. I'm going to mix it up.
Now, see if his teammates can hear the play calls in this one. But
Exactly.
Yeah, go on.
Exactly.
Oh, you guys are assholes. Whatever. Keep it going. Let's go.
If I'm Deshaun Watson, I stay the hell away from the left side of the field and Richard Sherman. But that's just
Well,
me.
listen, let's be honest here. In the next game, I hope you...
So let's go into some real football teams. We have the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys last week?
Cowgirls!
That's all I'm saying. How about them Cowboys? But we have Dallas on the road in Washington. Washington coming off of a Monday night loss on a short week. We have Dallas plus 1.5 in D.C. Justin, how do you feel?
I'll pick Dallas for this one.
Of course you will.
They're coming off a huge win, even though it's against kind of a shitty team. But it is a division rivalry, and as I've been quoted on saying before, anything can happen with division rivalries. But, I just got a feeling about Dallas in this one. Let's see how it plays out.
Jake, Gub, Jeremy, Chris. I troll you guys on Instagram more than I can count, and Facebook. I trolled the Dallas Cowboys. I've led this man to a slight depression at work. But, honestly, I'm going to side with y'all this week. I'm going to go with Dallas.
Yeah, be smart.
Whoa. Hey, here, guy. Calm down. Calm down. Let's not get too carried away. It's Washington. We're not expecting much from them. I mean, they couldn't beat, Philly. At home, couldn't beat Philly.
You call Philly the best team in the league.
So. I think Philly honestly is one of the best teams in the league, honestly, hands down right now at the current moment. And I think Dallas is another good team, especially when they have Zeke. Now, again, who knows how these, the suspension talk may play, and I don't honestly think it will. I think, honestly, it makes Zeke more hungry. I think it makes him more angry. If anything, it's making Dallas more better, and I think that's why they're going to win this week. They got something to prove. Dak has something to prove in his second year as a starting quarterback with no competition.
Yeah, I mean, I think this week Zeke's going to have to go like this. Just because he's going to eat all day. He's getting over 100 yards.
Oh, God.
I'm coming with awesome bold predictions this week. Dallas wins outright on the road, maybe by a field goal, but he's 6 points. Like Justin said, it's an NFC East matchup. It's always close. I don't care who they're playing. Mm-hmm. Eagles could be 0-15. If it's the last game of the season, they might beat them. They know each other so well. Jason Garrett versus Jay Gruden. I just like Dallas. I think they built off the momentum last week. I know it was a terrible team. I think Washington with the short week, with the disappointment, I think Dallas takes this.
You see how excited he is? He missed the show last week. He's so excited.
Yeah.
He's just so happy.
It has nothing to do with my outfit choice.
So full of joy.
That leads us into our Sunday night game. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have a little bit of drama on their team with the wide receivers and the quarterback.
We'll talk about that.
We will. Going on the road to Detroit, Pittsburgh is -3 away.
Yeah, I got a bold prediction for you again.
Uh-oh.
Detroit wins this, and it's not even close.
Oh, wow.
I've got Pittsburgh coming in here and falling flat on their face and losing this badly. Hey, call it just a feeling, but I think a lot of it has to do with how I feel about this Detroit defense. I think they're going to find a way to completely shut down this offense this week.
Detroit has one of the best defenses I've seen in a while. And again, not to mention the BYU guy, Ziggy Ansah. I want him up in Roethlisberger's grill this week. Honestly, I see Roethlisberger hitting the ground more times than I can count. He may even throw more interceptions than touchdowns this week. I honestly think this is Pittsburgh's game, honestly, to lose. And I'm hoping as a Ravens fan they lose, but even from a logical point of view, you're going into Detroit. They have a really good defense, and the offense isn't bad. For sure, it's set up for Pittsburgh to lose. And for sure, I'm predicting that they will.
I like Detroit at home. I like Justin's bold prediction. I would love to see Matt Stafford throw 3, 4, 5 touchdowns.
Jeez.
Like I know he can. That rookie wide receiver, Golden Tate, hasn't done much, but I think they step up this week. I think Pittsburgh just has a lot of distractions. Le'Veon Bell is obviously a problem when it comes to just stopping him. Obviously Antonio Brown as well, but I just think, Ben Roethlisberger is on the decline. And I think with it being in Detroit, that says something. I think Detroit, like you said, may even win outright. I don't know about it being a blowout, even though I would like to see that.
When we were talking about Martavis Bryant, there's a lot of drama with the Steelers lately.
Yeah, so supposedly Martavis Bryant went on a rant. If you remember last week, Juju Schuster caught a touchdown and had a bunch of targets. Well, the biggest difference is when Le'Veon Bell 2 weeks ago only had about 8 or 9 touches in the second half, he complained. He didn't get enough touches. Next week, he got 36. Then Juju Schuster complained about not getting, or Antonio Brown complained about not getting touches, and he got targeted 11 times the next week. So Martavius Bryant is feeling slighted. He actually went out and called Juju Schuster a bum, saying that he'll never be as good as him. And he actually went on an interview saying that, Martavius Bryant said he wants out in Pittsburgh. He wants him to trade him, and if he doesn't trade him, he's just going to play his last year.
Martavius, you are wrong on that, sir. You are dead wrong on that. But go ahead.
About Juju Schuster?
Yes.
I like the way Juju Schuster's playing. Plus, I love his name.
He's balling out.
I just, it's a guy you can root for. Like Gerald said, how can you not root for a guy named Ziggy?
Yeah,
it's just cool to say.
He's cool.
I just want to root for him to get sacks. But I think Detroit easily wins at home, wins outright on that one. So that leads us into our final game of the week. We have a Monday night game. We have an AFC West matchup. We have the struggling Denver Broncos. We all see what Trevor Siemian hasn't been able to do. Going on the road in Kansas City. Tough place to play. Now, Denver is a +7 on the road. Still AFC West matchup. It can be close, but Justin, how do you feel?
It's tough because on the one hand, you expect Kansas City to bounce back after losing these games. But, division rivalry, and we got a +7 team. So I'm going to go Denver, actually, on this one with the +7.
It's a tough call.
It's tough, but it's a perfect game for Kansas City to bounce back in at home. Again, home field means a lot. And trust me, as a kid that's played football many years, there's nothing better than playing at home, and especially after you've lost. So you know what? I'm going Kansas City. I think they need to bounce back, and if they don't, there's a serious problem, and we should be worried. If Kansas City can't bounce back against a rivalry team who I think is a lesser team than them, there's a serious question on can they make it to playoffs, honestly.
I think Kansas City does have a bounce back in weeks and wins the game, but I don't think they cover the spread. I think they win 24-20, 17-13. Denver's defense is still legit. Alex Smith will have problems throwing the ball. Now, do I think, Kansas City's defense will be able to stop Trevor Siemian? Yes. But do I think that Alex Smith will be able to easily move the ball up and down the field as he's against New England? No. Against Oakland? No. I don't think that's a 30-point game on either side. I think it's like 20-16, 20-17. I think Denver kicks a bunch of field goals. But, I don't have Kansas City covering it all. I think I got to win them by 4, maybe 6 at the most.
Don't sleep on Kansas City's running game, though. If the passing game falls apart, they still got a running game. So, again, Kansas City has weapons.
But Denver has a defense.
I get that.
Where you can just say, go play one-on-one. Go play man-to-man. We have the rest. And that's the thing. If you have a defense as a quarterback, now Alex Smith is, he's a veteran. But if you have a defense in the secondary that says, go ahead and throw it if you want. You know what I'm saying? That's a mindset that you have to get over. I do think they win the game. I just don't think they win by 8.
All right. Fair enough.
All right.
So that's going to do it for Week 8 here on Lit Sports Online, picking against the spreads for the NFL games. We're halfway through this marathon, people. We're halfway through. Got another half to go for the regular season. I'm sure we'll probably end up picking the playoff games too. But that does it for this week, and stay tuned for next week.
And don't forget to like and subscribe below. A lot of good content coming to you shortly. We have a lot of ideas. Me and Chris have actually worked on it. We're working on a show that's going to be coming to you shortly. Not to mention
comedy show.
A comedy show. Not to mention a new news show to take the place of Couchside. We're calling it Over the Line. So stay tuned for that. Take care.